Hey, Peter. There you are. How you doing? Oh, can't hear you yet. Looks like you're still at on Gabriel Island.
I need it. Yeah, I'm here until Friday, and then I'm going to Victoria, and then I think I'll go back to Hornby briefly, and then I don't know. After that, I'll head back east or somewhere else.
Oh,
It's
really?
fine. Oh yeah, I don't want to be here. It's nothing going on here. I gotta go to the center of Canada
Back
where
to
all the
oh,
action is. Ottawa.
oh, okay. Are you coming to Ottawa?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm I'm in limbo and have been on the bench far too long. I don't want to retire. Somebody needs to put me to work. Yeah, those documents you sent are pretty cool. It's and that's all AI.
It's all AI based on the parameters I've built into the integrated stewardship framework. And so the last week or so has been fine tuning it, adding in the instructions for AI in terms of how to operate and then also consider self-healing or continual improvement and reducing any labor, I guess, on the client side. So
Yeah,
yeah, just putting in so many hours, just ignoring everything else as I just finalize this. So
you've gotten very excited about it. That's for sure.
I, yeah, I have obsessed, excited, getting it to the point where now it's becoming real. So this is that launching point, and sharing it as I speak about it and share. People are excited, but really need to understand, well, how does this help me? So being able to synthesize that and create some products, which I have to get done in the next 2 hours too before a presentation I have to make this afternoon in terms of implementing it and piloting it. So it's live. And now that that's done, I can refine everything else because this has just taken much too long in terms of the level of effort. And as one thing changes in the almost 50,000 word document now, uh, yeah, tweak the ripple effects of one change and going back to correct something else and so forth. So now I'm trying to decide which model to use it on. So my initial outputs showed benefits coming out of the '03 and '04 models, and now I think the '05 models are best. So I gave you and Kathleen the three different outputs to compare and see, get
Yeah.
feedback from you guys, because then it's done, and I just pick one, run with it, and leave it alone until there's a need to tweak it again after feedback from the pilot. So that's where it's at. And then very next step this evening is to finalize the post-secondary initiative, and then
Right.
the one pager to you, and then send that off to that member of parliament, and then
Nice. See if we can get a conversation going.
yeah, and really hoping you can run with that and see what happens.
I have got your back.
Yes. Okay.
put put me in, coach.
Yeah, this is taking way too long. I was hoping this would be done in September
Yeah, put me in, coach.
15th.
Yeah, no, it's always, it's good too because like I've noticed that over the years there's an ebb and flow with good ideas, and I was thinking about this morning, like would you come to better conclusions quicker if you were actually doing it, or would you go down, say, the wrong path and then wish you didn't go down that path? And so, like today I've realized that permanent capital, venture builders, chief entrepreneur, um, economic leakage, like those are the core four, and you'll see on LinkedIn, I'll just keep reiterating, these are the four, these are the four. So like all our public investments in economic development need to be, either focused on permanent capital or venture builders. The economic leakage needs to become open source so anybody can do it on anything, and we've got to, really think about what a public good principled entrepreneur looks like, because they can't be selfish.
No.
Like we're not looking for the traditional concept of entrepreneur. And I wrote a little bit about this last week on LinkedIn. Like I'm trying to figure out. So I don't think business schools should be allowed to use the word entrepreneurship. I think they've stolen it because they realized it made money. And I was like, how do we train, uh, smart people through like an inquiry-based liberal arts program to become like very creative thinkers about the economy, very community centric, only think about human flourishing,
Mm.
planetary health, like what is that program going to look like? And it's not going to come out of a business school. And then how do we deploy those people in our society? Because to me, it's like, and I was thinking about this morning, it's like, what is the persona, and then how do we make sure that that person isn't either corrupted or bogged down? So like one of the reasons I don't want to necessarily work within the system is because I feel like you'd get bogged down instantly. Like people would start telling you why you couldn't do things. And so, when I think about this idea of a chief entrepreneur, the only place it can really be put is directly in the premier or prime minister's office, because if it's put in a ministry, it will fail. And that was kind of the feedback I gave to you the other week about why put that position under the VP of innovation,
Yeah.
at a university. And I get why you came to that. but I've also seen so many examples of the politics getting in the way, unless the person is the, like we're working with an outdated, you know, carrot and stick model. So you have to kind of give them the carrot or the stick to be effective.
Yeah, and
So
having
yeah,
to think outside of um, what we would call the four corners, which was the Privy Council, Treasury Board, Finance, and then PMO. The first three are apolitical, and then the last one's political. So it has the power to be entrepreneurial, to be creative,
yeah.
to wander outside of
Say that again.
the four corners. So you've got Treasury Board or Treasury Board Secretariat, you've got the Department of Finance, and then you've got the Privy Council office, which are nonpartisan. And then you've got PMO, Prime Minister's office, which is partisan, and having that role there to be able to be prescriptive or less prescriptive to guide the cabinet leads or the ministers
Yeah, yeah,
who have the ability to walk or wander outside the bureaucracy because everyone else is so focused on policy and
yeah,
is risk averse. So that's it.
yeah.
That lends to favoritism as well.
And is the PMO the highest point of control or power?
Yeah, it ultimately
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a prime minister's office followed by Privy Council
yeah,
office has
yeah,
the clerk of the Privy Council as the lead of government.
yeah. So I guess the premier or the prime minister really has to buy into the concept for it to be really successful. It's
But I don't.
interesting.
This is where I
Yeah,
don't think it will work though, because of the culture and the. But
yeah,
we've always done it. Oh, we need to do this, this, and this. It has to go through legal review.
exactly. That's what I mean. They'll get pushed down
Yeah,
so quickly. Yeah,
and I firmly believe that it has to be from an outside in. We're so far gone.
yeah,
And my desire to create integrated stewardship was to give teeth and metrics to creating these results that lead to human flourishment and
yeah,
that in place or community benefit for whatever an organization is doing and give the tool
yeah.
to the small and medium companies who don't get access or don't have the time resources to apply for grants to
Right. Let them
get
let
the
them let
attention.
them operate as a bigger entity without the need for the human resource.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm
the
with
other
you.
piece
I,
is
I'm with you. I'm with you. And that
create
I was can I
the
feel
out of
like the
box.
other.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's funny. We have a delay, so we're talking over each other. No, I was just going to say, I think focusing on the SMBs, the community, and then letting government kind of come at their own pace probably is the right strategy.
Yeah, and then that other piece, what you said is where do you find these people? I've had a really hard time staffing or finding these creative thinkers that understand the machinery, that understand the dynamics to a decent extent, and can think outside the box. And it's rare. It's so rare. So again, how could I create something that was a force multiplier? Well,
Yeah,
I can stop trading time for money and be able to create ripple effects. So
yeah,
putting
and that's
energy
the
into
playbook.
this, yeah, is
Yeah, a playbook, coaching, mentoring. Like how do you build that system?
and so it's the back end to support humans dealing with humans and not a SaaS solution. And people need people. We need connection. We need trust and respect.
Yes. So this document you sent.
The two so 2 weeks ago, you and Kathleen shared a problem statement each. So I'd say if that
Yeah.
and I just ran that through, and the output is from the three different chat GPT models, or the main three. So the O3, which was analytical past legacy.
Okay, I see the break now. Yeah, here's a tight integrated ant. So on the first email, is the content different or just the formatting?
Between the content's different,
Yeah.
which is what I've been testing. I've been trying to take different use cases, give me a problem for defense related, immigration related, and playing out different scenarios to see where it could apply, what low hanging fruit is, which solutions most holistic. A lot of output to go through. So I've got a scorecard now, and so running it through different things, and it looks like actually I just don't
Jeez,
trust
that's
AI.
incredible. Right? Is it hallucinating on you?
Is it hallucinating? Is it missing things? It does its own analysis, but doesn't think, hey, you didn't consider this. What about this? And then so having to go
Yeah,
through a really critical lens to see if it did take the methodology and apply it. And if it did, is it something wrong with my methodology, or was it the language model? So trying to discern that. But I'm happy with the output.
have you ever heard of um, the Canadian Shield Institute?
Yes. I think my inbox filled with a bunch of emails from them that I haven't gone
Okay,
through.
I just forwarded you an email. So they put a thing on LinkedIn, a call out for policies around sovereignty,
Oh,
and so I sent her a note and I said, hey, it'd be awesome to see how public funding of venture capital stands up to the Shield score. So they've created their own scoring system, and she said, oh, that's interesting. And then she said, where's your head at it? And I said, well, actually, and I sent you an email and I said, I think we have to understand the connection between publicly funded venture capital and economic leakage. However, I also think we have to understand um, this idea of venture capital entrepreneurship and and what we really are. So, but one reason I'm talking about this and sent this to you is it made me just realize that they might actually be a really good partner, or I don't know. There just feels like there should be a connection between our work, your LLM, and what they're trying to do in their scorecard. Um, Not just on sovereignty, but in general. Like uh, it just adds to your human resources and researchers without actually having to pay them. Because
hmm.
I would get the impression that these are really smart academics that have been hired by an NGO, but they really don't know what they're doing. Or
I
sorry, they know what they're doing. They don't know why they're doing it. So they're looking for there's a leadership vacuum that we could fill pretty quickly. Um, because they're new, and I think they're trying to kind of figure out what their purpose is. Anyway, I don't know if that's true. That just was where my head just went on that. I think like if you like who's the ultimate who's the ultimate person that's going to benefit from this output? Is it policy makers, public servants, elected officials, or business people?
all of the above, and it's how to
Okay.
take a problem and get a real solution as opposed to
Okay.
just great ideas. So,
So it feels like there's something not quite right from the entrepreneurial perspective.
okay,
Um, Policy design, performance metrics, implementation roadmap, rationale for success, decision prompts. Do you know about the prompt payment legislation
I
in the
do.
construction? Like
Yes.
Chris from BC Construction Association, which would be connected nationally. He's a professional friend of ours. Like that would be an interesting one because it affects SMBs 100%. I mean, the whole reason they came up with prompt payment was because these big construction GCs were basically withholding payments. And so the owner operator drywaller guy was basically, going to the check mart or whatever, trying to survive.
Yeah.
But that would be an interesting one because you've got government, association, and association members and businesses all wrapped up into one.
Yeah. Okay. I'll run that through. And
So yeah, I don't see like I'm trying to see. I'm BC cabinet mayors, Crown Corps, large employers. Nicole in BC. Bold reset, baby. Yeah, I'm having a hard time connecting the entrepreneurial lens to this. I get the
and that's a good point because I haven't really defined that. And
yeah.
I don't
So
also,
like if you asked it another question, taking this output on 50, what, how would you reframe this for for an entrepreneur?
okay. That's excellent. That's another, yeah, poke holes in it.
So yeah, so I would say that's, to me, it needs to be kind of structured. It's not one document for one brush. So it's kind of like, if we let's use prompt payment. Let's use any of these kind of real issues, sovereignty, like what does it mean? Prompt payment's a good one actually because it really hits everybody. What does it mean for the government? What does it mean for the association? What does it mean for the members? What does it mean to the SMBs? But I think I'd like to see this document just for, what could an entrepreneur do as an SMB to to push this forward, and I put out a kind of, I'd say a hostile post on LinkedIn this last night,
Okay.
because I'm just so tired of David Evie acting like it's an attack, Trump's trying to kill us, like he's like, dude, act like a fucking person that's in charge of public governance. You sound like a moron. You sound like a union organizer, not a the head of the province.
Hmm.
It just drives me nuts. Anyway, so but like that's an interesting example. Um, like how do we build a case for permanent capital instead of venture capital, and who do we have to influence? How do we have to influence them? Who benefits? How do we make sure everybody benefits? Yeah. So I think the prompt payment, the permanent capital, like there's ones. I guess maybe what I'm thinking or what I'm realizing is I need to see an example that leads to an actionable item that I can do outside of government.
Gotcha.
Like I'm still having a hard time. I get what you're doing and I think it's cool, but I'm still kind of I'm like a 2-year-old. I need a bit more hand holding to get
Nope. That's great. Yeah.
to get there. And I trust that that it's like me saying permanent capital. It's like you saying this model. Like I know you're right. I want to get to your level of thinking quicker.
Yes. Yeah. that makes sense. And I like also that identifying who you are, even in terms of what do I need to do, and um, thinking that through.
And so would you charge somebody to use this, or is this kind of how you how you do business development with consulting? Like what's the
And
business
that's
model?
that's actually what I'm working out this afternoon. So
Right,
part of it
right,
was the GPT I shared is to act as that lead magnet, but still gives quite a bit of information in terms of
right,
how to step into it.
right.
And now it's looking at yeah, what's the monetization? What's the business model? Because right now, I'm trying to figure that out for a fund in the company. So if it's a standalone company, it'd be one way. If it's that symbiotic relationship between portfolio of companies and a fund manager, then there's
Yeah,
economies of scale and uh,
yeah.
discounts.
And
But
this and you have to have a paid subscription to use this.
that's what's come down to. Yeah, instead of
Yeah, I
charging,
realized I was thinking I thought I bet he has a paid subscription. I don't have a paid subscription, but I was like, oh, I wonder if he realizes that you need one because if you already have a paid subscription, it wouldn't be giving you the message it's giving me.
yeah,
But
oh, I
yes,
do.
yeah,
I've had one,
So,
and
so
I
it
had to.
would be interesting. It'd be interesting. This is the kind of thing you could like A/B test.
so I mean, you got to think that big five consulting firms would charge $50,000 for that document. So it's like okay, you know, I think there's a value to it,
Mhm.
and then there's some way that you could use it internally, externally, but also assign a value to it. So it's like we're going to give you a working document that's going to provide you some guidance. We believe it's worth $40,000. If you don't use our services, then our contract says you have to, pay us $20,000 to use the document. And if you hire us, then we won't charge you anything. The document's complimentary. So they feel that they're actually getting something of substantial value, getting a discount because they're a preferred VIP client, and you waive the fee altogether if they actually turn it into an assignment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because I feel if people give things away for free, what happens is you get stuck working with micro business because everybody's bootstrapping, whereas the big guys, they actually have to justify their own bullshit, and they do that monetarily. So like it's really hard to justify things if they don't have big price tags. And I think that's one of the mistakes small business people, they're like, oh, I can do that easily. I'll do it for free. But then, why is McKinsey charging $150,000? And it's not because they need to charge $150,000. It's because people buying it need to justify their own
Yeah,
expenses and
it's a
incomes.
perceived
I
value.
learned
And if you
exactly.
don't,
I learned that the hard way that big does business with big and small does business with small. And you need to decide if you want to do business with big or small because they're two different animals.
they are, and really
Yeah,
that price tag establishes the prestige
exactly.
of the solution.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
right.
It must be important. Yeah, shows you how stupid humans are.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that all has to be figured out in the next 2 hours.
All right. Well, don't let me hold you up. How can I help? That's the best question. How can I help?
Yeah, I I just thought that was really helpful.
All right.
That's the realization I came to is that this has to be a subscription service. Otherwise, yeah, to be able to gain that value, to be able to get the benefit
Yeah.
from it, to use it, it's best used on an ongoing basis. So what does that look like? So
So, so how hard would it be for you to put up a real simple website, like one page website with like a 3-tier pricing, the free model, which is the one you've got there, the subscription model, and then the multi-seat model phone for pricing. Like, I wonder how hard that, like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, just boom, boom, boom. Have you heard of Ghost?
No, what's that?
Okay, this is new to me. It's an open source platform that's kind of like in competition with, say, Substack.
Okay.
The best open source newsletter platform. Yeah, it would be interesting. The reason I thought about that pricing model, because you always see that on Substack, right? Like free newsletter, premium newsletter, or like any of the Slacks, they have that last one where it's like enterprise call for pricing. But yeah, I mean, for you, it's like I think you've got enough there. Slap up a website that kind of forces people to contact you to use it, and then give them a quick tutorial on the free version, or
Ugh.
sorry, on the paid version, and then tell them they can use the free version, and here's what they won't get, and and then we can promote that. If you build a simple one-page site, then we can push it out on our profiles and see if you
Okay.
catch any leads. I mean, that's probably, what is it? Fail fast or whatever. Like, just move quickly. You've got enough to. You got enough to.
I just updating the straw man I have for my website as well. Everything's
Yeah.
once this is done, then it can give me all the language and everything
Yeah.
else. So
Exactly.
effort was put into this.
Yeah, and just do a real simple one, site just for this product.
Yes,
And
that's exactly it. And
yeah.
I bought the domain last month, so I've got
Yeah.
It's
already.
amazing, eh? Like, okay, I have to stop you for a moment and celebrate what you're doing, because you've done this by yourself with a bit of help, or kind of, support, a bit of support from other people. But like, you think about, like you've built a $20 million product by yourself. And this is where I kind of look at the gap analysis between people like you and other people, where I'm like, yeah, no, I'll help you any way I can, because I know you're busting a move. Whereas you see other people and it's like, oh, well, I need to hire a person, I can't do this. And it's like, yeah, no, yeah, you're
No, thank you so much. That's
yeah.
really
So we need to take a moment to celebrate that, because you've kicked ass.
and I've thought about that too, but move fast and break shit, as
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Peter Swain says. But while I agree with it, and getting out to market testing, getting the feedback, I'm also challenged with the quality or caliber of work that I do, and worried as well for any early adopters. If it is shit, then
Yeah.
that sullies my reputation and the product. So I really wanted to.
But yeah, exactly. You want to get it to this point, but you've got an MVP within a couple months.
Yeah,
and you did it by yourself. So fuck anybody that says you're, fucking around, right? It's like,
yeah.
phone Peter. Phone Peter. He'll tell you the real truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, no, it's impressive.
I've identified the different roles and functions in AI language, and have the JSON files ready to hand over to a developer who
Yeah, exactly. Once you're there, yeah,
and I'm there. So by the end of the week, that's
yeah. You're investable. You're investable, my
yeah, I
friend.
guess. I've given him a dev.
You are now a proven founder that's investable.
I guess.
Okay, so open up. Can you open up the paid version of this
Yes.
and ask it a question that, how would we lobby the federal government to move venture capital to permanent capital at the Business Development Bank? and see what it spits out. And that might be something that then I can kind of see an example that I can, like the university one, I can really dig into it because I have a vision, right?
Yeah, let me
I know I should get a paid subscription, but I just don't.
I had to jump it up to the $200 US a month because of
Yeah, well,
the
it's the
demand.
backbone of your business. Yeah, it's the backbone of this business.
All right, can you see my screen?
No,
No, you can't.
I can see you.
Oh, all right.
I'm,
There. Hopefully you can
yeah,
see it.
got it. Yeah, got it.
Okay, so what was your
So how do we lobby? How do we lobby the premiers, or sorry, the prime minister? How do we lobby the prime minister with us to move venture capital to permanent capital through EDC and BDC with a sense of urgency?
all right?
Interesting that you have to put per integrated stewardship.
Oh, that's I find with the
Yeah,
update
yeah.
models providing more context, and because it's in that project file, and soon I'll have my just defining the internal GPT. So the one I shared with you, I just updated this morning too. So and running things through that, it gives some really good output, which I was surprised at because I thought it would be more truncated or redacted, but it's pretty good.
Okay, so before lobbying, it is essential to define precisely what you're asking. For some key questions to clarify, by permanent capital, do you mean patient long-term equity without fixed maturity rather than? Yes. So yes. Do you intend that ED themselves hold this capital or act as a matching anchor investor? I would say private structures. And so the first answer is yes. Second answer is private.
Why is it? Where's my little?
Third,
Okay, hold on. Let me just.
yeah.
Oh, it's still working on the answers. So come on. I'll wait until this thing is. What's it doing? It's giving a lot.
Oh, I see. It's still talking. I'm gonna go use the washroom while it does it. Geez, it's still spitting this stuff out at us.
It is. And I like
You might have to. We
it's
might have to do this another time.
no, it's the okay, so
Oh,
it's
there you go.
it boiled down the question. So let's go through them.
Shit.
I'm happy with the output and maybe to be able to get your lens on this in terms of does it have that entrepreneur type
Exactly.
of
Yeah, yeah.
okay, but let's go through these questions.
At the top, you mean?
Um, are they the same summary? Okay, yeah, I summarized the questions at the bottom. So these questions here are
Okay, so sharpen your proposal, define exactly what so say permanent capital is the same as Berkshire Hathaway. That'll be interesting to see how it deals with that.
right.
2 would be to create economic sovereignty, and so we stop using venture capital and stop sovereignty and stop economic leakage because of non-competitive venture capital as something using stop economic leakage as our venture capital is not competitive.
Or
Institutional pathways cabinet, so PMO. I think 3 would be PMO because it needs to be done quickly.
enter through institutional paths.
Yeah.
I'll say PMO and finance.
Okay. 4 would be pension funds. Yeah, public relations for sure. 6 could be use NBC fund as the pilot.
Sorry, use which?
INBC, use NBC fund as the pilot. Preempt objections with credible risk mitigations. Yeah, of course. Of course. Is that an answer?
Yeah. Well, let me just make sure those questions from the top were by permanent capital. Okay, yeah. Do you intend to hold this capital or okay. Do you intend EDC and BDC to hold the capital or as
No.
anchor?
Yeah, no, it should be matching anchor. Shouldn't be sector. It's sector agnostic.
Oh, sorry. No. Not. What constraints would you accept?
None, really. I mean, we're wide open. And open to suggestions. And then the last one, metrics of success, would be economic sovereignty, domestic head offices, long-term wealth preservation, and yield through dividend. And long-term wealth preservation and head offices.
Wait, let me just copy this in case it does something dumb.
Time to hallucinate.
I saw an error message behind that.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. We don't want to blow up your. Look at all those.
Yeah, because
No wonder you're busy.
I'm actually a window.
You're a juggling madman.
I go through so much and then it slows down the window so that I have to move it to the next one. But I want to make sure I haven't lost anything and I've got different client related work and going on. And yeah, there's lots of things I'm hopping back and forth between.
There you go. Wow.
I liked it. I'll send this all to you in email. I was scanning the initial output. I was really happy with even how it frame the messaging, which is about skies falling versus logic.
Yeah. And then the next question to ask it is, say, as a
This is great.
the follow-up question, type in, as a principled entrepreneur in Canada, what can I do today to get this started? Community-minded, principled entrepreneur. So community-minded, principled entrepreneur. As a community-minded, what can I do to get this started? There, let's see what that's. Yes, we'd like a 4-page briefing memo.
Is it gonna let me? Oh, it won't let me. I wanted to branch this off a different window and just let it go.
Yeah. I see what you're. Yeah.
The principles of.
But we'd also like a 4-page briefing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll come back to that.
Yeah. These are really. I mean, it's really quite something, to have this much thinking power.
It is, and then just to give it the parameters of thinking this manner with these guardrails, parameters, focus on outcomes and metrics, values, and so forth.
Oh, there you go. 1-page charter statement. Nice. Yeah, well, we also ask it. So ask it about the briefing memo, but also the charter statement.
Whatever other outputs you want from it that you may have missed, I'll just fire it off to you. Let this do the work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is
there you go. Yeah, and the other one is the prompt payment.
And this is when the outcome's not black and white, it will propose pilots to be able to based on geography, different industries, to get that varied data to then come back and go for the second phase. Wow.
Fun. It's always nice when you actually have a real thing to work on.
Yes.
Kind of brings life to it instead of the hypothesis. Or not the hypothesis. What's the word I'm looking for? My brain cannot find that word. Good thing ChatGPT has shown up.
Okay, draft that, and then we'll do the 1-page charter statement.
And the policy brief.
And what was the other one?
The 4-page policy brief.
Oh yeah, that's it. The narrative plus before that. Okay. That's my structure, the level my AIs to work at is I call it McKinsey Plus. So every time it screws up, I yell at Ava. That's not at a McKinsey Plus standard. And in doing this, I've lost my mind a few times because it's hallucinating, it's not following instructions, the format's wrong, the language is wrong.
Right.
And it got so bad now GPT sends me a daily pledge with 17 paragraphs of how it will adhere to my standards. And it still fails.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
Indeed.
Well, it really is amazing. Like, you just think about how much work and how much brain power it takes for, veterans like us to be able to do this sort of
This,
thinking and writing on
yeah,
our own. I mean, no wonder we had a massive, you know, yeah, don't think your job isn't on the line, young person, because, you know, it this is
yeah.
doing the power of 100 people right now.
Just for me to put together the master document and all the edits and retweaks and it would take me months on a full-time basis. It's a
With
pain.
a team, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you've nailed it though, right? Like you said, fuck it, I'm going to build the picks and shovels. I'll put all my energy into building the model. But yeah, I totally think that you're ready to build that simple, like, one-page website with some options, and just hang it out there.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I'm currently looking after 4 cats, and they've got me well trained. It's like, meow meow, let me out, I don't want to be inside anymore.
I bet your cats will go in and out all day if they know
I
it's there to open the door.
it's like, I don't care what anyone says. Dogs, domestic pets rule the world.
Anybody that can get you to feed them and open the door for them with no English, no language, no mother language. Tell me who's in charge. I say it's the domestic pets. Yeah, it's a good experience. I certainly would never want to have 4 cats myself, now that I've volunteered to experience it for my friends. You'd have to be a bit psychotic to want more than 1 cat.
My ex-wife, we ended up with 3 cats. One,
Right.
she wanted one. She rescued one when I was away with the army training or on a course. And the third one was her brother, a 6-month-old kitten who became the play toy for their German Shepherd. So we were to watch him for 6 months. He ended up living for 19 years. Uh,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
cat had us trained, and he had neighbors trained. I've seen him walk into multiple people's homes over the years because he just roamed the neighborhood, had everyone trained. People would walk out there, go up to doors and have them give him treats.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a
That's
cool
awesome.
critter. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Here
Well,
we
they're those sort of cats, like the old soul prehistoric kind of ones, right? Where it's like, yeah, you're all here to serve my needs, motherfuckers. We have one of those next to us on Hornby, Cairo. It's a gray cat, and the thing about Cairo though is she doesn't shit indoors, and she keeps the rodents away. So, like, the other neighbor was kind of like, oh yeah, that, cat from down the road's always at our house. And I said, you do realize that cat's like keeping mice out of the neighborhood? Like, you need to encourage it, not discourage it. And they're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. You're right. But you cannot deal with mice in a rural area of Canada without a cat. Like, there is no amount of poison and traps that will ever, do the job, right? So yes, we treat Cairo with great respect for her duty, and I haven't had a mouse problem in years.
really. Yeah, I like male cats. I'm actually allergic to cats, but male cats I get accustomed to. I not female
Oh,
cats.
that's interesting. I don't actually know which are male and female. Let's see if it's on. Hmm. I feel like these might be, well, Molly, Coco, Fanta, and DJ. So definitely 1 or 2. Huh. I don't know if they're male or female, to be honest. I know that sounds funny. Um, And I'm not about to start checking.
Yeah, they all pee the same way. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is yeah, let me send this to you and then you can go
Is
through.
it still thinking? You probably need to get it
It's
to work.
finished. It pushed at the charter, the documents or the 4-page plan and asked me if it should make it into a PDF and branded. So I want to see what it'll do, and then I'll just pass it over to you raw. And actually, I'll put it all into a document so you don't have a big messy email. Do you have a preference?
Not Word.
Not Word. Okay. Then if it's in, if I just cut and paste everything and put it in an email,
Perfect.
okay, then I'll do that. So there we go.
Cool. And we'll play with that.
Yeah, and then let me test out the.
Oh, there you go. Download the briefing, 1-page sovereignty charter. Wow. That's crazy, man. Your computer's just is just smoking right now.
It is. It is. It heats up.
You're gonna have to put some flames on the box.
Got 16 gigs of RAM and
battle ready. Wow, not battle.
oh wait, is that the? Oh, did it? Was that something else I was working at? Oh no, this was right. This was the comparison of the different models I was doing. So I don't know what happened to the other two.
Holy cow. That's awesome.
Where did it go? Okay, I'll find it again. And
Yeah, so Ghost is basically an open source alternative to Substack, but I think it does a bunch of other stuff. But it's open source, so it's just, I don't know. I always prefer open source over paid.
yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
And then the intent is to at least have all the copy done for the website before the end of the month. Developer to do his piece for the agents to deploy this, and then it's off to the races.
And I was thinking, you know that that mastermind group that you pay for in the U.S., where they gave you the opportunity to sell the medical.
Yes, yeah.
I think you should do the same thing with this. Once the website's up, you should send it to all those people saying, "I got a better deal for you that's easier to sell."
Good idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
remind me about that.
You want to make some extra money? I think, there's a lot of people in this world, especially students and 100% international students, that aren't being leveraged effectively, and it would be interesting to figure out, like, you've got a a huge workforce if you could figure out how to allow them to work independently.
Hmm.
But you think about all the people that are international students in the UK and Canada that that are basically working at McDonald's while they're doing master's degrees just to meet
Yep.
just because of the system, basically. But yeah,
And
how do you get those people selling these sort of things?
especially now that the permanent residency requirements have become more strict. So there's a lot of these students that are trying to figure that out.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was talking to a girl this morning because I do a little nonprofit work in that space, and so she is a Ugandan national student in Calgary, and the best she can do is temporary worker permit selling purses in the mall. And these are like super smart people, right? And they're just, the system is just so oppressive, right?
Huh.
I mean,
Maybe.
half of them, they come here with law degrees, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm trying to figure out how to, create a kind of a self-directed work for them because they're just too smart to be selling purses in shopping malls.
That's something I could get behind as well. Yeah, we should talk about that.
Well, now they've closed another automotive plant in Brampton.
Yes, Stellantis is moving, or yeah,
Yeah. So you think about all those South Asians in Brampton that are now unemployed.
so many.
And the alternative is going to be crime, right? I mean, that's the thing, is people have to realize that people aren't above or below crime anymore. You know, it's like when you have a family to feed and somebody offers you a bribe or an opportunity, I don't think people are going to be so morally, like I would say organized crime is on the rise. I wish it was publicly traded.
We could have an organized crime ETFs.
Yeah, I'm sure there's. Yeah, that's just an idea waiting to happen with blockchain and create a
but there's just exactly
new coin.
So yes. So there's actually lots of opportunity. Somebody just has to figure out how to capture.
Okay, well, yeah, that's something I definitely want to talk more about. I've got to run. Let me send this.
Yeah, go.
You, and
you
then
got lots to do.
Maybe even try running that through the model.
I'll run it through my free version.
Yeah, do that. Let me know what it comes out with, and I can run through the full one, and I'll send you the output.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Peter. Take care.